And very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk, where we talk all things Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Glad you're able to join us for another exciting evening of Brevard College Tornado Athletics. We'll be talking women's soccer, football, men's soccer, and a lot of great guests on tap this evening as well. But before we get started, let's thank our sponsors of Brevard College Tornado Athletics: Arby's, BSN Sports, eGolf Ford of Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingles, Jets Pizza, Party Sports Medicine, Pepsi, Sallie Steamers, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. We do also want to recognize Party Sports Medicine and Southeastern Sports Medicine and Orthopedics for being the official healthcare provider for Brevard College Tornado Athletics. In addition to the outstanding quality of care provided by the orthopedic doctors, Party also offers care in the areas of oncology, cardiovascular, primary care, and several subspecialties. Party Sports Medicine, proud partners with Brevard College Athletics. Well, a lot going on this week, homecoming week at Brevard College. We'll be telling you all about it. All sorts of festivities, culminating with women's soccer on Friday night and football on Saturday. Includes a tailgate concert, the first of its kind on the campus of Brevard College. Cody Sinyard, the 2010 graduate, the singer-songwriter from nearby here in Transylvania County. He'll be performing 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. before the big football game on Saturday. Catch you up around the world of Brevard College athletics. Men's soccer, they have been on a roll, 2-0 over Asbury and then 1-0 over Southern Virginia. Daniel Morgan recently named USA South Rookie of the Week, and the men's soccer team on a 6-match win streak. They'll be right back at it this Wednesday, 7 p.m. versus Johnson and Wales. Volleyball will be back in business as well. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. versus Salem. That's at the Boschmer Gymnasium. So come on out and check out the volleyball team. Cross country will be in action this Friday in Charlotte, North Carolina, when the Tornadoes head to the Royals Challenge in Charlotte. And then cycling's continuing their preparations. They're about 10 days or so away from the big mountain bike national championships in Durango, Colorado. Best of luck to the cycling team as they continue those preparations. Football had its first on-campus game under the lights this past Friday night, a 31-13 win over Greensboro that we'll break down with Coach Khyat later in the show. And then this weekend, football will host Methodist, 2 p.m. on Saturday at Islamel Family Field. That's the big homecoming game. That brings us to women's soccer. Women's soccer heading now into the month of October with a 6-3-1 record overall. The Tornadoes will host Greensboro tomorrow night. That's 6 p.m. at Islamel Family Field on Tuesday. And then the Tornadoes will also host Southern Virginia later this week. So 2 conference matchups, the 8 p.m. game, part of that big homecoming weekend on Friday night. And with that, we're going to bring in our first guest of the evening. So we'll continue to talk women's soccer here. Head coach Juan Mascaro Sr., as well as assistant coach Sallie Riggan. Coaches, thanks for joining the program.
Thank you for having us, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Well, outstanding to have you both on here. And before we kind of get into where we're at this season and also all the homecoming festivities, I do want to reflect back a bit to Wednesday, September the 21st in Toccoa, Georgia. And on that evening, the Tornadoes with a 7-0 win. I mean, talking about an emphatic win for this milestone over Toccoa Falls. And with that, Coach Juan Mascaro Sr., his 50th career win with BC women's soccer. Hey, congratulations, Coach. That's a big-time milestone. I know you've been at Brevard even longer with the men's team as well, but to do this with the women's soccer program had to be meaningful. Let's start with you, Coach. You know, how did it feel that evening? We weren't able to be with you in person because it happened over there in Georgia.
Phil, thank you, first of all. And, it's just an amazing feeling because, it's all the hard work that the kids put in to make it happen. Coaches, we can, it's our record, at the end of the day, but it's what the kids put in. and it belongs to them as well. I was telling Sallie, she didn't. I don't know. She knew this at the time, but she's responsible for 42 of those wins. So
Wow.
that's pretty significant, right, in itself. So that's a testament that it is, and I'm sure she'll talk more about that later. But it's a great feeling. I think we're building this program from scratch when we transition from Division 2 to Division 3, and I think it's been a good run. It's been a good run.
Absolutely. Congrats, Coach, for all of us at Brevard College Tornado Athletics. And Sallie, Coach mentioned it. That's 84% of those wins. If you were to look at it that way, that's a lot of winning alongside Coach Mascaro. And now you're doing it as a coach. Can you reflect a little bit of just how, much Coach Mascaro has meant for your career now, but also, your playing career as a member of that Tornado squad?
Yeah, it's super special to be on this side of it now next to him. We only had one losing season out of my 5 seasons there as a player, so that is a really good feeling, and I'm excited to have some more winning seasons on this side.
Very cool. Well, congrats again. Like Coach said, it's a testament to the entire program, to all the players, to everybody who's a part of it, and just an awesome milestone there. Well, Coach, following the Toccoa Falls matchup, a trip to NC Wesleyan to start USA South Conference play, a 8-0 win at Berea in non-conference play, and then a 0-0 draw at Meredith in conference play. All of this part of a 5-match road swing for the Tornadoes. It must feel like you guys have been on the road forever. But for NATO Nation, who might not have been able to follow all the action and these different locales, can you catch us up on, what Tornadoes have been up to?
Phil, I did the math, and there was a point where we spent 20 hours on a 48-hour period. We spent 20 hours on a bus because we went to Berea on Tuesday, and then we had to move the game that was scheduled for Saturday to Thursday because of the storm. And so we went Tuesday, 10 hours there and back, and then back again at it. So it's been a trip. It's been a trip. It's been a trip to be out there, but really looking forward to play at home for sure.
Yeah, in this week, exactly that. It starts tomorrow versus Greensboro. Conference game. All these games mean so much as teams are jockeying for postseason position. And then another matchup versus Southern Virginia on Friday. I know you just got off the practice field, Coach. What's the focus this week with these 2 games at home?
Phil, I think that for us, I think the key to success is going to be to find consistency. I think we haven't gotten it 100% yet, so we have to be a little more consistent. I think we play some great games, and then we play some average games, and then we play really well, and then we go back down again. So we got to be a little more consistent, and we have to be a lot more consistent on the defensive side of things, just when we don't have the ball, really get organized and put numbers in behind the ball and defend well. And then, I think things will take care of itself. I was looking at it, and we've scored 30 goals so far. And we're halfway through the season. Last season, we scored 28 goals the whole season. So we scored 2 more goals than the whole last season. So I think we have some firing power, and I think we got some kids that can put the ball in the back of the net. So things will take care of itself. But first we got to make sure that defensively we're doing the things that we need to be doing.
And Coach, this week is homecoming, and such exciting times around here at Brevard College. President Bradley J. Andrews on board now. It's his inauguration this week as well. Just all sorts of energy on campus. And then the soccer program, the women's soccer program, a big part of that with that matchup on Friday night. A pep rally is being planned for after the game in the Bosch. So, the campus is going to be rocking. But kind of back to where we started tonight's program, sort of the global view and the big picture, Coach. When you think about the alumni, when you think about homecoming and also the growth of Brevard College, what are your thoughts as far as, where we're at here at BC, but also just, all the people that have contributed to where we're at.
Phil, it's funny you asked that question because I was doing a lot of reminiscing this today, actually, and we had a quick team meeting after practice, and I was showing the kids what our field used to look like 10 years ago, and they couldn't believe it. I mean, I was showing them a video of a game, and stand back hole was not there, the field was not there. We didn't have a press box, we didn't have bleachers, we didn't have anything. So we've come a long ways. We've come miles and miles and miles. And to mention, there is a list. The list is endless of people that are responsible for making that happen. But I think it's just all of us at Brevard College. I think we are resilient. We want to move the college forward, and our faculty and staff are great. And we really care about the kids at the end of the day, and that's what drives us. Those relationships that we built with them, and I think it's that's what drives. That's the engine that drives. Is trying to make those kids, get them through from being an 18-year-old to a really responsible 22-year-old. That's the journey, and I think that's our drive, is to get them there, to help them get there.
Well said, Coach. All right, Sallie, it's homecoming week. And for the, now you're on this alumni side of things, not only alumni, but, a member of the coaching staff as well. But when you think about alumni at Brevard College who will be celebrated all week long, the experiences you had, and this being homecoming for you as well, Sallie, even though you're here on a day in, day out basis these days, but still from a alum point of view, what comes to mind? What are some of the, the memories that you continue to cultivate? And, what are some of the feelings when I mention homecoming, alumni, Brevard College women's soccer?
I think about all of the relationships that I've built here. I'm glad that I am here, and I'm excited to see all of my people back in the same area and at the game, on the field, where I've had all the memories, and then off the field too. I'm excited to have everyone back in the area and see the people that I also see every day.
Well said, Sallie, Coach Sallie Riggan. And Coach Mascaro, when I mentioned homecoming in alumni and what that has meant, as far as that legacy goes, it's kind of the theme of this evening in many ways. But also, talking about a impressive group of alums, the women's soccer alumni, you look at the Hall of Fame, and there's plenty of them there, and who have gone on to all sorts of success, post-graduation as well. Love to have your thoughts on the topic, Coach.
Yeah, I think we have very successful alums. Not only on the soccer side, but I think as a college we have a strong base of alums, which we're really proud of. But like Sallie said, it's good to see him back. I'm gonna see a couple of guys also. When I was on the men's side, there's a couple of guys that are coming that graduated in 2011 and 2010, and they've been out of school for 12 years, and then we still keep in touch, and that's really what drives this engine, is all those relationships with those kids. So I'm excited to see them come back. I'm excited to have a chance to chat with them. I'm excited to get on the pitch and coach those two games. They're a very important game for us. And I think our kids are going to be ready to go out there and really show what Brevard College women's soccer is all about, and we'll go from there.
Tuesday, that's tomorrow night, 6 p.m. versus Greensboro. The Tornadoes hosting Greensboro in USA South Conference action. And then Friday, the big homecoming matchup versus Southern Virginia, 8 p.m. at Ives Lamel Family Field. And alumni, if you may be checking out the program and you want to get involved with homecoming and want to check out some of these events, go to brevard.edu. You can't miss the homecoming tab there, and there's registration, RSVP information, schedule of events, etc. Well, Coach Mascaro, Coach Riggan, best of luck this week. But before we let you go, we would like to invite in some special student athlete guests from the women's soccer program. Kiara Porcelli has entered the building.
Hi.
Hello, Kiara. And Maddy Edwards is here as well. Hello, Maddy.
Hi.
And Jessica Tenjhay joining the program as well. There she is. Coach Mascaro, we'll hand it back to you. Can you help introduce this group to NATO Nation?
Absolutely. We'll go in order of seniority. So we have our senior Jessica Tenjhay, been with the program for 4 or 5 years, and she's a rock back there and solid player, great character, great kid. Maddy Edwards, she is a hardworking kid, one of those kids that has the heart of a champion and works hard every single day. And then you have Miss Kiara Porcelli, which scored a couple of goals already. She's a rock over there on the midfield as well. So we're very happy to have her.
Very good. Well, Coach Mascaro, Coach Riggan, thank you for joining us this evening on the program. Congrats again, Coach Mascaro, reaching that 50-win milestone. I'm sure you certainly are ready to move on and collect even more this week. Greensboro and Southern Virginia. Best of luck in those games. We'll see you out there at Islamel Family Field.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, there they go. And as Coach helped introduce us to these three student athletes, great to have with us Kiara Porcelli. Kiara, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
And also with Kiara is Maddy Edwards. Maddy, thanks for joining the program.
Thank you, Phil, for having me.
And Jessica Tenjhay, great to have you with us as well. We're going to work on your connection, Jessica. I think we might be having some Wi-Fi problems there, but let's get it going with you two. Kiara, new to the program, first year with Brevard College. How's the experience been thus far?
It's been wonderful. They're all extremely welcoming. Going into the team, it's always nerve-wracking to go into a new thing like that, especially far away from home. And they've made it the easiest thing to do. They were all welcoming. They're all so loving. And the freshman class is also we all get along very well. So it's been good.
Very good. Freshman midfielder from New Hampshire. Tell us a little bit about that, coming from someplace like New Hampshire to now here in the mountains of Western North Carolina.
It's definitely a difference. And it's a little adjusting, especially being that far from home coming here. And I know it's definitely the weather is the biggest thing that's different. But everyone's cold right now, and I'm just kind of like, it's okay. But it's been really good. It's been easy.
Very good. Well, do want to remind folks, just like, it looked like several of your teammates starting to chime in there. You can leave a comment, whether it be YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, in the comment section, and we'll try to bring it on the air and make you part of the program as well. Maddy Edwards, the sophomore from Warrenton, Virginia, Kettle Run High School. Maddy, now your second year, what's it like now that you've got that freshman year behind you and you're off and running as a sophomore?
It's definitely a little easier, a lot less nerve-wracking. I have my people, but it's just really exciting to meet all the new freshmen and get to learn how they play. And it's just, so far it's been really good.
And Jessica Tenjhay, the senior midfielder from Conover, North Carolina, the veteran of this group here. Senior year, we'll just stick with the same idea. What's it feel like to finally be a senior and, to kind of, relish in this moment?
It's exciting. It's kind of bittersweet already. I don't want it to end. I just enjoy playing here at Brevard, and I really enjoy this team this year. The atmosphere is pretty good.
Very good. Jessica, let's stick with you because it's homecoming week as well. And you've got a bit of a family legacy here going with Brevard College. Your older brother played on the men's soccer team. Can you tell us about that? The idea that your older brother was a Tornado before you. Now here you are. He's an alum. Maybe he's coming back for homecoming. Not sure. But, can you tell us about, kind of the Tenjhay legacy here with Tornado soccer?
Yeah. So everyone's kind of compared me to him. Not that it's bad or anything, but he kind of left a good rep for himself on the field. So it's kind of me living up to that as well. He will not be returning to home or coming this weekend for homecoming. So he actually is at home with his baby girl.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Outstanding.
Mhm.
So Alex Tenjhay, congratulations to him and the Tenjhay family. A new addition. What's the baby's name, Jessica?
Her name is July.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations to the entire family. Maddy, when you think about, sort of the legacy of Brevard College, the alumni, the upperclassmen that, you learned from these days, but also the ones that came before you, including a couple of your coaches, actually 3 of your coaches, Sallie, Riggan, Juan Mascaro Jr., and Rebecca Rojas, all alums of Brevard College as well. Tell us a little bit about, perhaps how you've learned from either the older players, but also the alumni.
Yeah, so definitely like what I've learned is if you work hard, your results will pay off. You just have to always like keep your head down and just work at whatever you're struggling with and just know that your team is there to keep lifting you up and you can just put your head down and sprint to a ball that you need to get to. So yeah, it just really is to work hard.
No doubt about it. And Kiara, I know you're new to the program, so you're probably still, kind of learning some of the names and the history and that kind of thing. But, when you think about those that came before you, including those coaches who I mentioned, how meaningful is that for you?
It's really cool actually because I know Rebs and Sallie left a big mark on the program. And I know that Sallie, I've heard a lot about how she played, and she played in the position that me and Jess play in. So like hearing about how she did and what they both did for the program almost makes you want to be talked about like that, be spoken so highly of. So it makes you want to work hard and be like them. So it's
Very
cool.
good. And let's stick with you for this next one because we talked to your coach a little bit about it. 5 straight road games, all that time on the bus. I know it can be exhausting, but there's got to be some upsides as well from spending all that time on the road, which I would imagine maybe bonding with the teammates and, really getting even closer as a unit. But tell us a little bit about what it was like to spend 5 consecutive games on the road.
The 5 games on the road, they were definitely they were a little tolling, obviously, because it's a bus and it's like a long drive, but it was cool because we were fortunate enough to stop for food all together, so you have time with them there. One of them was a hotel trip, so that was obviously fun. It's just thinking of it in a positive way, I get to spend so much time with these girls that all care about each other, so that's definitely in a great atmosphere to be in all the time. And I mean, I wouldn't want to travel 5 games with a different group. So it was very nice and obviously a little stressful. And I got to nap though. So.
Yeah. Well said. Well put. In Maddy, 2 of those games, if you add up the totals in just 2 games, 15-0 was the combined score. A 7-0 win over Toccoa Falls, an 8-0 win over Berea. When you guys have it clicking like that, what's sort of the feeling or the energy of the team when you guys, are scoring at that kind of clip?
Yeah, it's a great feeling to be able to go and win 7-0, go and take a long road trip and be able to play your game, and just to see the result is just a great way. It just makes the 5-hour trip pay off. It makes the quick turnaround of a game. It just makes it all pay off. And it's this is why we play for it, is to connect like this as a team. It just makes it so exciting.
Appreciate that answer, Maddy. And Jessica, one of those wins, the 7-0 win over Toccoa Falls, you all got Coach Mascaro his 50th career win. I saw the photo afterwards, everyone with a huge smile on their face, the celebration continuing. Can you kind of tell us how that all went down? Were you guys aware of this milestone? And then after the game, how did it all manifest and what did that feel like?
We weren't aware of it until after the game. I think he did that on purpose. I think he wanted it to be a surprise. So we're all super excited for him, excited that he got that 50th win, and excited that we were all a part of it. And so in that picture, we actually held up a 5-0 for the 50th win.
Very cool. Yeah, and you've been a part of it, throughout your career as well. So, I know it was especially gratifying for seniors like yourself, Jessica. Well, would like to talk about off the field as well, and all you guys outstanding student athletes as well. Jessica, tell us what you have going on. As you're in your senior year, heading towards graduation. Ultimately, what do you have going on in the classroom?
Right now, I am a psychology major, so I'm in my final courses for my major, and I'm also doing an internship with my major. So I'm at the Department of Social Services right now, and so I'm doing a little bit inside the classroom and a little bit outside of the classroom, working towards my end goal.
Outstanding. Sounds like just a great example of the kind of experiential education we're all about here at Brevard College. Congrats on that, Jessica. Best of luck moving forward. Maddy, how about yourself? What are you working on academically? Have you selected a major yet?
Yes, I have selected exercise science, and I'm also doing a minor in coaching. So I'm getting into the weeds of the major courses right now, but I'm excited to see how it goes.
Outstanding program here at Brevard College. Best of luck with that. And now, Kiara, I don't expect you to have all the answers, a newcomer here at Brevard College, but what are some of the things piquing your interest? And perhaps you have, selected a major already yourself.
Yeah, so I am going to be an elementary ed major. And right now, obviously, I'm taking all my gen eds, but I was fortunate enough to have 2 education classes that I really love. So that's going really well.
Outstanding. And let's stick with you, because as we come down the home stretch here, do want to give you each the opportunity for any thank yous or shout outs. Anybody who may have helped you along the way, who may be watching this program tonight or maybe on replay, just whatever comes to mind. Thank yous or shout outs?
Obviously my parents, they are very supportive of everything I do, and they got me to where I needed to be so I could play in a great place like this. And then just the whole team and all the coaches never stop supporting anything I do. So it's really helpful, and just the environment is great to be in.
Great to hear. Thanks so much. Maddy Edwards, same opportunity to you. Thank yous or shout outs?
I'd like to thank the team and the coaches for all the support, for pushing me to be my best at every practice, at every game. So thank you. I'd shout out my parents, shout out to my dad, especially because he's actually the top fan on Facebook Athletics, but it's just a side note. And just thank you to all the coaches previously too, who have pushed me to be better.
It's pretty awesome getting that top fan status on the Facebook page. Jessica Tenjhay, thank yous or shout outs?
Yeah, first I want to start off with thanking you, Phil. Thanks for having us here tonight. And then thank you to my family back home and all my supporters. And thank you to Amy Juarez, if you're watching this back in Virginia. Thank you for all the support and motivation. And thank you to all the coaches and previous coaches as well.
The shout out to Amy Juarez, sticking with our theme, Jessica, of celebrating the alumni this week during homecoming week. Well, ladies, great job this evening on Tornado Talk. We can't wait to see you in action beginning tomorrow versus Greensboro. That's 6 o'clock, folks, at Eyes Lamel Family Field. And then the Tornadoes will take on Southern Virginia, 8 o'clock on Friday. Can't wait to see you out there. Keep up the great work, ladies.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, there they go. And we're going to quickly switch gears here and talk some football with head football coach Bill Khyat. Coach Khyat, thanks for joining the show.
Appreciate you having me, Phil. Good to see you.
Absolutely, especially after what we witnessed on Friday night, the first ever home on-campus football game played under the lights here at Brevard College, and what an atmosphere in the Tornadoes, with the big win to start off conference play. Before we get into the game itself, Coach, would like to just get your feelings as far as that game being played under the lights, the unique environment that it brought, and then of course the adjustment with Hurricane Ian as part of the equation as well.
Certainly. Well, as I've told you in the past, for us, there's always been such a natural high for our players when they would go out to practice, and the atmosphere was set with under the lights on the turf at home. So when you add the element of adrenaline for a game, you knew that there should be some spectacular play take place, which of course it did. Now, when you look at the setting, I know there have been several posted on various social media outlets of some of the scenery beforehand with the weather that was rolling in. So you had the sunset on one end of the stadium and this gorgeous double rainbow with just these glowing, deep, vibrant colors on the other end. So it made for a magical night, and that's certainly what we had.
And Coach, as you mentioned, this sort of, motivation that comes naturally, with the electricity of the lights on, the Tornadoes, what a first half, 28-0 at halftime, just clicking on all cylinders. Was that what you were looking for from the team as far as that first half performance? The kind of the Brevard Tornado football that we've been, knew we were capable of all season long?
Certainly. And what you've seen from our team over the years is when we have confidence, we play extremely well. I mean, there's all sorts of things that go into allowing a team to be successful. But for us in particular at the football program, confidence is one of the top things that we need to be able to perform our best. And when things go our way, boy, we can keep piling it on. And it was just a matter of us being able to do that for the first time, really get going and not stop, start and choppy and things like that. For the first time, we got the machine rolling, and then it just kept going and nothing could knock us off that track. So very proud of these men. And they know there's 365 days in a year. We get 10 days to try to win a football game. That's it. So that's 355 days of prep for 10 opportunities, 3 of which have already gone by. So that left us with 6. So they knew that the time was now, and they knew that this was conference play. So to make a statement, if we got selected to finish second in the conference, we better play like that. So that's what they set out to do. And that's why the first half looked the way it did, Phil.
Outstanding. And, would like to start on the offensive side of the ball. Miles Hayes, the starting quarterback, the graduate student, he started the game 10 for 10 as far as, completions and attempts, ends up with 253 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, also a touchdown on the ground. Big day rushing for guys like Mitchell Yoder and Chancellor Lee Parker as well. Jaden O'Leary with an 8-catch performance, over 100 yards receiving. Just great to see so many weapons being utilized on that offensive end.
Well, it all starts with the quarterback position, Phil. As your quarterback goes, so goes your team. So, I met with our passing game coordinator and quarterback coach, Garrett Kruzik. And I met with Miles himself and wanted to discuss some of the things that we could implement in the game plan, and wanted to make sure that he felt comfortable with everything, because obviously he is new to the program, but he found himself in a starting role because of his ability to pick up the offense in such a short amount of time, but have a complete understanding of what it is that we wanted to do. But we really wanted to gear it toward the things that he felt especially comfortable with. And then he was able to accomplish some things that Coach Kruzik's always looking for him to do. Use terms like hit hands, meaning throw the ball right here where the guy can catch it, not having to make him move around. Use terms like make him a runner. So meaning when you throw the ball to the receiver, he doesn't have to stop and turn around and slow down. He can catch it and go. And he really exercised all of that beautifully on Friday night, which allowed for that 10 for 10 start, which allowed for all of these yak yards that you saw Jaden O'Leary and some of the other receivers have. And then that passing then opened up the run game for us. So then all of a sudden we were consistently gaining positive yards on every run play, because it really kept the defense off balance, wondering, wait, are they going to run? Are they going to pass? Is it going to be a short pass? Going to be a long pass? Going to be an inside run? Going to be an outside run? So a well-balanced attack set it up for the defense to not have really any idea what was coming next from the play calling.
And then the Brevard College defense certainly getting the job done as well. 2 interceptions, 5 sacks, really limiting Greensboro. Coach, we talked before the game, and, you kept on emphasizing this deep shot that Greensboro was going to continue to go to. That was nullified for the most part as well, and just made things very, very difficult on that Greensboro offense. The BC defense did.
And it's exactly what we wanted to do, is be disruptive. So we knew that quarterback was going to want to throw the ball as the leading passer in the conference and the leading touchdown thrower in the conference. We had to make sure that we made life miserable for him. And with a great pass rush and containing him in the pocket, so he really had nowhere to go with the ball other than, I better get it out of here before I get hit or get sacked, and throw it up. And then we took advantage of some opportunities, because we've had some chances in the past to make some interceptions, and it didn't quite work out for us. And in this particular game, when the ball was near us, boy, we made sure we got our hands on it and secured it and took the ball the other way and set up the offense with great field position. So very well-rounded play on defense by all 3 levels, meaning the defensive line, the linebackers, and the defensive back. So everyone contributed. Really, so many names that you could throw out. So it's much like how you talk about an offense and distributing the ball and everybody got a catch or everybody got a run. It was that same idea defensively, where everybody had a hand in securing that victory for us.
Yeah, and that included the interceptions by Toby Naylor and Colby Yancey. Naylor also had a sack, Koger with a sack, Trey Williams, Ernest Smith II, Noah Allen, all with sacks as well. So, like you said, a lot
That's
of
exactly
folks,
what I was saying. You could
a lot of folks chipping in.
Play the game, Phil.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Well, Coach, I know the coaching staff and the team have already turned the page, looking forward to what's next. Huge atmosphere expected this weekend with the homecoming game. Includes a pregame country concert with Cody Sinyard. There'll be all sorts of alums here, dignitaries, Hall of Fame inductions, you name it. But on the field, the Tornadoes will be hosting Methodist. USA South Conference play continuing. What will be the key this week in preparation for Methodist?
Well, this preparation was something different for us this week, in the fact that we had an extra day because we did play on that Friday evening. So this whole prep started with a watch party, as we called it. And we had the players get with their position coaches and get together and watch the game live through their feed at noon on Saturday. So we watched Belhaven play against Methodist, and boy, what a game! Back and forth, back and forth. Belhaven ended up winning finally at the end, 34-27. But the guys got a real good look, and when you get to hear some of the background of some of these players, it's a more in-depth report on some of these things and watching it together. So they all kind of have a feel for what Methodist is all about, and what they're all about is that they have some fabulous athletes. So whether that be on offense, where they can hand the ball off to a couple different running backs that have the ability to go 80 yards if you don't make a tackle or you don't get off a block. They have a quarterback that has been tearing up the league for years, and he's back, and the power of having a strong quarterback. And then they have a wide receiver who has basically half the receptions of the entire team, and he's a youngster that he can get the ball anywhere on the field, whether that's a deep ball, an underneath ball, and has a threat to score every time. So we really have to shut down these massive playmakers that they have offensively. Otherwise, it's going to be having to, keep up, because it's going to look like a track meet trying to handle some of this deal. And then defensively, these guys are not afraid to take chances. So it's a situation where they'll take a shot at you, take a chance, boy, and if it pays off, that could be an interception, it could be a sack fumble, it could be minus yards, tackle for loss, all these terrible things for the Brevard offense. But if you can catch them in these opportunities when they're taking these chances, then it could be this big play for Brevard College's offense. So it's really mitigating any issues that could come from their defense trying to take a chance, and it's us trying to squeeze out these big plays that can come from their offense. And if we can handle those two things, then we got a pretty good shot at this deal.
Coach, we talked to Coach Juan Mascaro Sr. about this topic a little bit, but it is homecoming week. Brevard College has grown by leaps and bounds, not only, if you look 10, 20, 30 years back, but, just in the time that you've been here, Coach, back dating back to the days that we would play our games at the high school versus, here on campus. When you think about, just where Brevard College has come, and then also this idea of homecoming, which, is a celebration of all things Brevard College, a way to, pay thanks to the alums and all the people that made where we're at today possible. What comes to mind, Coach, and, just how meaningful this week is, for all involved?
Well, for me personally, I couldn't be more proud of where I am and where I coach and where this college began for me in 2017 and where it is now. The growth has been remarkable. So many times you get promises made to you and no one ever delivers. And, the things that I have heard over the years about what was to become at Brevard and what was going to happen to the football program specifically. And all of it has come to fruition, and even beyond some of the things that I was told would happen. So I'm just so grateful for everything. And to me, if you think about it, you think about places that you want to call home. Well, I went to Duke for 4 years. I mean, that was my college. That's where I went. I mean, if I'm going to go to homecoming, that's Duke. I've been at Brevard longer than I went to Duke. So to me, this is my place of comfort. This is my place of serenity. This is where I find my joy, is being here at Brevard. Love it so much, I moved my family across the country from Arizona to Brevard. So now I have a 28712 mailing address. My son is a freshman here. Thankfully, Coach JD did some quality recruiting and brought my son here to play lacrosse. So he's a freshman here, staying over in West Beam. So to me, I mean, this is my life, Brevard College, and love every aspect of this. So proud to be a part of it. So grateful for all of the community that is involved with supporting us in various ways. And just couldn't be more grateful for this whole family and to be a part of it, Phil.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, stick with us just a couple moments longer as we get prepared for this weekend's big homecoming matchup versus Methodist. I believe we have one of your student athletes here with us, so would love for you to help us introduce him as we bring in Miles Hayes to the program. Coach Khyat, we spoke about Miles' performance on Saturday, or Friday night rather. Those numbers, do a lot of the talking as far as how successful he was on Friday night under the lights. But tell NATO Nation even more about Miles Hayes, this outstanding student athlete.
Well, first of all, it is to be said that we are the grand beneficiaries of Miles' decision to exercise his final year of eligibility to play football. And of all the institutions across the country, he selected Brevard College. So we're extremely grateful for that. One thing I'm sure you'll notice during your time spent with him here, Phil, is he has an infectious smile. So you're immediately drawn to him. And if you think about what Miles has had to do in a short period of time, is he's new to this operation. So if you come in as a freshman, you might have 40, 50, 60 other people that are kind of in a similar situation as you are. When you come in as a grad transfer, now you're only talking about a handful. Plus, to come in and not really know, well, where do I really fit and what do they really want from me? So it's a difficult position. I mean, anybody that's changed the job as an adult and you're the new one in the staff meeting, you don't even know where to sit. So, for Miles to have to step into that situation and do it as a quarterback, and then we don't have the most simplified offense in America. So for him to jump in and understand that offense to the point where he is not even having to look at a wristband to call plays, can laugh and joke in a huddle and get everybody calmed down is just really tremendous. And I think you'll see that in his personality. And his personality was able to shine on Friday night because he played loose, he played relaxed, and all of the other players that were playing around him all said the same thing to me after the game. Boy, that was the most fun I had playing a game. And we've had some great victories over the years, but it was the most fun they had. And I think I did mention that in the last show, that that's what I wanted from my players this week, is if they could just enjoy the game and remember why they're playing, that they would turn loose. So again, so thankful that Miles is here, proud of all of his accomplishments up to this point. And he's going to be driving us to a championship before you know it.
All right, Coach. Well, can't wait to see the Tornadoes back in action this Saturday versus Methodist. 2 p.m. start. Pregame concert begins at 11 a.m. in the tailgate lot at Islamel Family Field. Thanks for joining the program, Coach. We'll see you at Islamel Family Field this weekend. Homecoming.
Okay, appreciate it. See you then, Phil.
All right, there he goes. And as Coach helped introduce us to Miles Hayes, the quarterback, what a game Miles had this past Friday night. Miles, welcome to the program.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to be here.
Outstanding. Yeah, it's great to have you on the show. Yeah. Graduate student from Northport, Florida. First, I do want to extend any, thoughts to folks down there in Southwest Florida. Hurricane Ian came through. Starting this interview on a serious note, Miles, everything okay down there as far as your family goes? And were you able to stay in touch with folks down there?
Not initially. The town that I came from, Northport, Florida, and another teammate on the team, Taylor Willis, our town got it pretty bad. I mean, not as severe as where it first initially hit in Naples and Fort Myers, but our area got it pretty bad, and our families are all, everybody's united down there. It's typical of the people in this country. Something comes and interrupts the peace, and everybody comes together, and you can really see that exemplified through the little pictures and the stuff on Facebook and stuff sent from friends and family back home. You can see it going forward up there. So
appreciate that answer, Miles. And, our thoughts and prayers are still with the folks still trying to recover from those deals. I'm a South Floridian myself, as far as, where I'm from. So, these things are to be taken very seriously. And, meanwhile, we were, preparing for perhaps, nothing like what Florida was going through, but, some disruption up here in terms of a rain event. It ended up not really hitting us too much. However, the decision was made early in the week to move the game from Saturday to Friday night. And on behalf of, your teammates, Miles, when you guys heard the news that this game was going to be played under the lights, what was the feeling around NATO Nation?
It took us all back to those high school days, the feeling of waking up and having to go to class before the game that same day. It's a completely different feel. It really locks in the unity of just the campus life, and, just the teachers. Hey, you got a game tonight, you know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? Just a little conversations here and there. It really brought us back to those times and really made us feel like little kids again. That's why I know Coach Khyat has said it multiple times before. It's really easy to motivate people under the lights, and that's kind of a little into why it just takes you back into those. It's a child's game, and it really puts you back into that first initial love you had for it.
And Miles, you started off the game red hot, 10 for 10, in terms of, your completion percentage goes, and ends up with over 253 yards. Got it done with your legs as well, finding the end zone. Can you talk about yourself, how you were feeling, but also the offense as a whole? I know you guys have been working hard to build up to this point where you got things going on all cylinders.
Yes, sir. We were lucky enough to, coming off the loss, we had that bye week, and we really kind of sat down and we really evaluated where we were and where we wanted to go moving forward. And the scheme, we had 2 great weeks of practice, and we felt very confident, very comfortable going in and trusting every play that was called, every decision that was made from either end, from the coach's aspect or the player's aspect in it. And that really showed how loose and comfortable everybody felt on the field and the performance. So for sure.
Big numbers as they're shown right there. And you were finding Jaden O'Leary left and right. 8 catches for O'Leary, 114 yards, including a 32-yarder and a touchdown. Can you talk about that connection? How you guys have some chemistry going there?
It really just stems off of just the energy around the whole offense in general. Like, we just have a real genuine comfort with each other, just the fun, just the jokes that are made, just all of that just ties into how we trust each other on the field in the time, at the moment of time. And it really showed for me and Jaden, because we've had me being new, just having to get to know everybody little by little, and I still have a lot left. I'm still just getting to know a lot of the people on the team. And but me and Jaden, we had a couple conversations here and there. Even when I was, still trying to learn the offense, he was there to pick me up when I was having those hard days. Because, like Coach Khyat said, the offense is not easy just to pick up It's not one of those offenses. It's a well thought out, well schematically planned attack. And if you don't know what you're doing, you really could feel lost. And so there were some days that I was really feeling lost, and Jaden was one of those guys, along with multiple people on the offense. It's not just him, but just to help me through those times. And it really shows to the morale and the culture of the team.
Miles, tell us about the mentality of the team now. 1-0 in conference play, heading towards this matchup versus Methodist. All the goals still in front of you guys as far as, USA South Conference play.
That's it right there. Everything is just still in front of us. We didn't have the start we were looking for. The energy was great. Now it was great in camp. But we didn't get the results we were looking for, but we learned in those losses. And we think we have the remedy, to prepare for these next 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10 games, however many more we go. Just we feel like we at this point in time have a good feel for us as a team and how we need to play and how we need to prepare moving forward.
All right, Miles, just a couple more before we let you go and continue those preparations. Northport, Florida, Doral Academy, transfer from Livingstone, now graduate student here at Brevard College. Tell us a little bit about that journey and how you ultimately found Brevard.
It was really more of just a comfort situation. Northport, Florida, it was kind of a situation where me and my parents, we felt like it was the best decision for me to go down to Miami for more exposure. So we wound up making that move. I wound up getting an offer to Livingstone from Doral Academy. And I played my 4 years at Livingstone and started freshman year, played 4 years. But we didn't play the COVID year, which is why I was granted that extra year. And after my senior year at Livingstone, I had my senior day, the picture frame and all that. And it was the sayanaras and I guess I'm done hanging the cleats up, and kind of was just going through my phone one day, and we kept seeing Brevard pop up, and I started to remember I had a homeboy, Taylor Willis. I've been friends with him since we were 4 or 5 years old. I was like, man, Brevard sounds familiar. And so I just kind of started looking more into it, got into contact, and it kind of just, the more and more I learned about the place and I started to do my own research, I started to figure out that it was a place that I would soon love. And I'm glad that when I showed up, everything came to fruition, and it's a place that I can really say that I enjoy being here and being around for sure.
Outstanding. And Miles, a graduate student, tell us about your studies.
Right now, I'm majoring in health and human performance, which is definitely going to help into what I'm trying to do after I graduate, which is staying around the sport. My dream has always been to coach and just stay involved in this game until retirement calls the name. And any way that I can, whether it be physical trainer, whether it be coaching, whether it be statistics, and whether it be designing uniforms, it's anything just to stay around the sport that has kind of powered the motivation and the characteristic that I have as a man today. And but yeah, health and human performance, I'm loving the major though right now because it's sparking a lot of interest that I really didn't know about just in human body in general. So it's really interesting, and I'm glad I did make the decision to come here for sure.
Outstanding. Yeah, the new graduate program here at Brevard College. Really excited to hear that you're taking such great advantage of it, Miles, and great to have you as a member of this Brevard College Tornado football team as well. It's great to see you in action on Friday night, but can't wait to do it again this Saturday versus Methodist. Before we let you go, Miles, any thank yous or shout outs you'd like to get out there into cyberspace?
Oh, yeah, just shout out to all my friends and family down in Florida. I know y'all going through it. I see the pictures and the videos all over the internet. And y'all need anybody to reach out to, what's up. You can always hit my phone. And that's pretty much it. I appreciate y'all for having me on the show.
Thanks a lot, Miles. And we'll be thinking as well, all those great folks down there in Southwest Florida. Hope they recover swiftly here. And our thoughts and prayers are with them. Miles, great work this past Friday night. Can't wait to see you on Saturday. And thanks for joining the program.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, there he goes, Miles Hayes, quarterback for the Brevard College Tornadoes. And we're going to quickly shift gears again here at this edition of Tornado Talk as welcome into the program, head men's soccer coach, El Dana. Coach, thanks for joining the program.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing great, Coach. And the Tornadoes, meanwhile, your squad on an absolute roll, a 6-game winning streak. And, I know it's one game at a time and all these coaching cliches and this kind of thing, but it's my job to celebrate things like this, a 6-game winning streak. What's been the key, Coach, when you look back and, you're able to reel off 6 games? That's substantial.
Yeah, I mean, you and I spoke the last time, and having played such a tough schedule early allowed us to find the things that we needed to find, just the formation that worked the best, the role that worked the best for each player. I mean, if you had told me 6 games ago that we would be having certain people playing up fronts that started as backs or whatever the case, and I would have said, no way. But because of those circumstances, it allowed us to realize what we had to adjust, and he made the players tougher. That's how it is, more hungry and humble, which also is part of it, and also not taking anything for granted.
Yeah, and Coach, when I look at the win streak, I can't help but notice 4 straight shutouts, and 5 of the 6 games were shutouts. What a testament to your defense and goalkeeping.
Yeah, I mean, soccer is such a game that that's fundamental. When you want to build a championship team, of course you got to score the goals, no doubt, but it starts with the defense, and our guys embrace it, because it's not, you don't separate. All right, you have my defenders and my midfielders and everybody plays defense, and these guys have that mentality, and they take it. We set on the team goals how many shutouts we had to have, and we already beat that goal, which is pretty exciting. But everybody's embracing that, because they know that then the goals will come. Then, even the defenders can score goals, as it has been happening. So there you go.
And then most recently, a critical road win in conference play at Buena Vista, Virginia this weekend. I know there was a lot of, circumstances, away from the field, just knowing whether this game was going to take place or not with the hurricane bearing down, but ends up happening, as scheduled on Saturday. And then the Tornadoes able to get a 1-0 win, a late goal wins this one 1-0 over Southern Virginia to start off USA South Conference play.
Yeah, it was a interesting trip, because we seem to have stayed out of trouble the whole time. We had to make a pit stop for a practice, and you could see the clouds forming. Of course, you keep an eye on the weather app, and we knew it was coming. So we were able to put in the practice. We get on the bus, and we're literally behind the line of Ian, the tropical storm at that point. And same on game day, it seems like it was all over, but it didn't quite hit us. It was raining, but it was nothing like it could have been, so the wind stayed down, which lots of times that's almost worse than rain. And then the game itself, it was nervous wracking, because you were talking about defense. They were defending extremely well. We put up 32 shots. I don't think I can ask for much more than that. And their goalkeeper was tremendous that day, and credit to them. They stayed in the game. So I don't care if it is ugly or pretty, one goal will do it, and that's what happened.
Yeah, and finally found that goal. Sam O'Callahan with the assist, Daniel Morgan with the goal. And Daniel was honored today as the USA South Rookie of the Week. Daniel comes from England. Tell us even more about Daniel Morgan and what he brings to the equation.
So the kid has made his way through. We in preseason we separated certain players to go with the reserves, certain players to, at least on the start of the journey, be with the first team. So he was with the reserves, but in a couple of weeks he already showed that he was ready to move up. And when we did, we used them some as a center back and some as a defensive mid, which is part of his career has been partly playing those positions, but he also kept reminding me that he played also up front. And then we had a couple of injuries and a player that had to sit out the game. So we needed one more body up there. And in practice, the game before or the day before, I kid you not, the kid scored 5 goals, So we all joked, we said, I think he passed the test, and when we put him on the field, he did not look back. And So there you go. You make the most out of your opportunities, and he's an example.
Yeah, you mentioned the 32 shots. Daniel had 6 of them, which was, more than any other player on the field. 3 of them were on goal, and of course, one found the back of the net. That was the big one in the 80th minute. Well, Coach, back in action this week, and it begins with a non-conference game on Wednesday under the lights at Islamel Family Field, 7 p.m. versus Johnson and Wales. I know you're getting into conference play now, but this is a big game as well, I would imagine, for you all to keep the momentum.
More than that, it's also a regional game. This is a reclassifying school that already counts. So for those that don't know, there's 2 ways you can make to nationals. You can go winning the conference, but you also can go by getting yourself high in the rankings, which we're not there yet, but we're capable of. And so every game matters. And of the early losses that we had, only one of them is a true loss. So technically we're 6-1 in D3. So we want to always give ourselves a chance, no matter. I want to make it. I don't care how we get there. So you're right. This game does matter, as every game will from now on.
6 of the remaining 8 games at home as well. And we spoke about this, about a month back, Coach. The unique part of the schedule where you all started on the road for 6 games. Now here's the flip side. Kind of looking back and reflecting back now that we're near this, around this midway point, how the schedule was constructed and how it perhaps is working towards the Tornadoes' favor with this stretch run.
Yeah, I mean, you and I spoke about it, that it wasn't by design at first. We had a very balanced schedule midsummer, and then when we had the change in the conference, that we became a new conference, so to speak, I had to throw away all those games and start all over. And that late, you could not get a game except on the road. But I always see the cup is always half full, and I like the focus that you take when you go on the road. I like it brings everybody together. The guys love the road, and so do I. So of course I love home, but it worked because it made us tougher. You're right, and plus the caliber of the teams that we played.
Yeah, and this weekend after the Johnston and Wales game on Wednesday, road trip to Mary Baldwin, continuing conference play, and then 3 straight home matches beginning with Pfeiffer on the 12th. In fact, if you want to make your plans, just pencil in Tornado soccer for Wednesday evenings, because pretty much every Wednesday night here at Islamel Family Field, we've got some action. Coach, stick with us just a minute or 2 longer here. We'd love for you to help us introduce a couple of student athletes who we're going to bring into the program. Rocco Barbon and also Brady Tesch. Brady making his Tornado Talk debut. Coach L, help us introduce these 2 to NATO Nation.
Yeah, we're talking about the defense and how important they've been this journey so far. So there you go. There's 2 top defenders in the team. Rocco is a returner that it feels like he's been here many years, but he's still an underclassman, and played. He's got a dual citizenship, so played in Italy and in the Netherlands, and really solid and a leader in the team, even though he might not be a captain. And then Brady joined us this year as a graduate student, transferred from Montana State Billings.
May have lost Coach there. We'll see if we might have to send him backstage. But Brady, we'll pick up where he left off. Transfer from Montana Billings and back here. Coach, thanks for the quick recovery there. We lost you at Billings, Montana.
Okay, well, just to finish, he's being a good leader as well. An important player coming. He makes runs from the back. So there you go, 2 important pieces of the puzzle.
Very good. Well, Coach, best of luck moving forward. We can't wait to see you back at Islamel Family Field beginning this Wednesday, and then the big matchup at Mary Baldwin back home versus Pfeiffer on Wednesday the 12th. Thanks for joining the show, Coach.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right, there he goes. And Brady Tesch and Rocco Barbon here in the building. Brady, let's start with you. Coach helped introduce you to NATO Nation. What's it been like, now here in the mountains of Western North Carolina?
It's definitely been different. I grew up around Seattle, Washington, so I've been out on the West Coast, and then I did 4 years over in Montana, which is very, very different. But I felt at home here. I live with a couple of guys off campus, and obviously we all come together, and especially with the team, it's always nice having people to usher you into a new home. So I've felt very, very welcomed here so far.
And also with us, Rocco Barbon, the sophomore defender from Treviso, Italy. We've had you on the show before, and you've told us a little bit about your international journeys, but bringing us back here to the here and now that you're in your sophomore season, what's it feel like to, have that freshman year behind your belt and year 2 with the Tornadoes?
It feels good. I feel like I get closer with a lot of the team as well. And now it's a few weeks in, a few months actually. So our team is really close, and being a returner, it was nice because I know most of the people, but I was also I was able to help out the new people like Brady, get into the team and feel at home, what it should be. Because I've moved a lot, so I know what it feels like. So I just like to help people. And
Rocco, for those who might not have seen that earlier episode of Tornado Talk where we really took everyone through your journey, give us a synopsis of all the places you've been that have led you here to Brevard, North Carolina.
So I've lived in America, well, counting these as well. I was born here, and then I've moved around France, China, Italy, and the Netherlands. So I've done a loop of the world, you could say, and that brought me here. So
in sticking with you for one more, because what a team to be with, because talking about international flavor, all corners of the world represented. Can you talk about just what that's like to be a member of this team, have people from all over the world, different nationalities, different, first languages, all these things, and you guys get along so well, this common bond of soccer?
Yeah, I feel like our team being so international, it helps understand many different cultures, as well as just understanding stories and where people are. So it just brings us closer, and it helps us understand each other. For example, I try to learn some Portuguese, and I'm sure some of the new people like Brady try to get in some Portuguese, as most of our team is Brazilian. So it's quite nice. I enjoy it. And I feel like if you're international or you're from here, it just makes you feel at home.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, it's really a fascinating, part of Brevard College, what you guys got going with the men's soccer team. And meanwhile, you guys are getting it done on the pitch as well. You have this winning streak going, a shutout streak going. Brady, what's been the key, to this success, for the defense, but the team overall to put together these shutouts and the win streak?
Concerning the shutouts, I mean, obviously a lot of times when we look at shutouts, we like to look at keepers or the back line, but truly, it takes all 11 players, starting with the forwards, coming all the way down, everybody doing their part. That's what really brings it together on the defensive end. And I think that's just kind of a testament to the work rate that we've been putting into games and really kind of having to grind out. Like in the last game, we had to dig deep, but, in some games you have to do that. So I think that's just kind of how it goes. Everybody's doing their part. So,
yeah. And on the flip side, Rocco, everyone is part of the offense as well. And I don't think that's what people realize, hey, everyone plays defense, including the strikers, the pressure they put on the ball, but the offense starts in the very back as well. And then oftentimes you guys are making overlapping runs or pushing up on set pieces or whatnot. Can you talk about your responsibility as a defender on the offensive end?
So on the offensive end, we as defenders, we look at pretty much the whole field. We can see everything from the back. So for us, number one is just talking in general, making sure people hear and understand what to do, where to be. And also with the passes. So as I said, we see everything. So we make sure every pass is in the right area to the right place. And that just helps the whole team attack. And I feel like also in trainings, we do practice a lot of runs and everything. So it just helps us build up when in game, what to do and just have it in the back of the head. So we have every run planned out by everyone, even the subs. Everyone just comes in, does their best, and it just plays out.
Brady, what's going to be the key moving forward, keeping this momentum, but also, winning these key matches on the docket?
I think that going forward, obviously scoring goals, we have a lot of versatility going forward. Obviously Dan has shown that he can play up top as well. So having different players be able to move into those positions always keeps opposing teams' defenses on their toes. Everybody watches film. Everybody makes sure that they're marking certain players. So if we can keep rotations and things like that, switching formations, everything along those lines really just makes it tough for defending teams to stop us. And so I think that just shows the depth of our bench coming in, making sure that they can have an impact as well. So I think that's a key point for us right now.
Yeah, well said. And Rocco, the team's got so many weapons, and we saw one of them, Daniel Morgan, this weekend with the game winner. He wins USA South Rookie of the Week as an honor for it. Tell us a little bit about him, but also just how, the contributions can come from most anywhere.
First of all, congratulations to Dan, because this is one of his first games where he played a lot, and as soon as he came off the bench, he changed the game completely. So it was really good. He put momentum, pushing the attack forward. He created runs from coming in to being at the front, and started with defending at the front, which helped us keep the ball on their side. And on the contribution side, our whole team really contributes. We have Sam and Brady who make the overlaps, the runs that whip the balls in, or they could cut in and shoot themselves. Then, for example, Igor, who's a defensive mid, he's scoring many goals as well for us. So it really comes from anywhere. We have shots from all over the field, literally. So
it's got to drive an opponent crazy to game plan for the Tornadoes. Just a couple more before we let you guys go. Brady, tell us a little bit more about, your impressions of Brevard College, what makes this place unique. You've come from, a completely different part of the country and so forth. And we touched on that a little bit, but, now that you've been here for a couple months, part of the men's soccer program, naturally, what are your impressions of what makes this place special?
I've been on the phone with my parents quite a bit, and a lot of the things that I tell people when I talk about Brevard is how genuine people are. I live off campus, so I like to bike in or walk in, and just walking around, biking, people wave, people smile, they introduce themselves, and these are just complete strangers. And you don't really see that too often nowadays, especially in bigger cities and things like that. And so truly being here and hearing just neighbors talk and introducing themselves, bringing us food, like all those kinds of things just really makes it special here compared to other places that I've lived. So.
Well said. Rocco, anything to add to that?
No, I agree completely. Like, compared to Europe, especially, like, you don't get many people walking down the street that say hi to you. It's more just look and walk. Here, it's like people will just start a conversation. It's nice. It's the small things that really bring even like if you're having a bad day, a small thing like that could bring a smile to your face. So it's really nice.
Yes, and no doubt about it. Brady, graduate student, tell us about your studies. What are you working on in terms of a master's degree?
Yeah, so I'm working in the grad program here, Health and Human Performance. It's been a great experience so far. It's rigorous, but that's all right. It's been really, really fun. I'm looking to go on and do strength and conditioning coaching potentially, continuing that kind of course. My undergrad was in education, so eventually coming back to teaching would be really, really great. So that's kind of my little educational background. So,
Rocco, tell us what you're up to in the classroom.
So I'm majoring in biology, and I just want to be a vet. I'm not sure what size animals yet, but I'm going into that. I've always liked animals, so it's just a dream of mine.
Very good. Well, it's great to have you two on the show this evening. I want to give you each an opportunity for any shout outs or thank yous you may have. Anyone who might be tuning in or maybe catching this on a replay, or just someone you want to thank for them helping you along the way. Brady, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to just say thank you to my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, and then all my friends back home, whether it's in Montana or in Washington. I wouldn't be here without their support. So obviously they've pushed me along the way, and I ended up here, and I've been very fortunate. But every game I play, I always think about them first. So
Very good. Rocco, same opportunity for you.
Yeah, I just like to shout out my family and friends, both here and back home. So they really help me every day, and it's just nice to get a little feed from what's going on back at home. So
very good. Well, we can't wait to see what's going on Wednesday night when the Tornadoes host Johnson Wales University. They'll be making the trip from Charlotte, and can't wait to see you guys back in action there. Hey, congrats on the early success this season. I know you guys are focused with a lot more ahead, but we can't wait to see it in action. It's a great product, folks. If you haven't seen the Brevard College men's soccer team in action and opportunity under the lights on Wednesday. Brady, Tesch, Rocco, Barbon, thanks for joining the program.
Thank you.
All right, there they go. And we're going to stick around a little longer this evening on this edition of Tornado Talk. As we mentioned, it is homecoming week and a lot going on surrounding homecoming. We've got a Hall of Fame induction on Saturday, whereby the 1982 cross-country team that won the national championship, the first of 4 national championships, won consecutive years by the Tornadoes under the direction of head coach Norm Whittick. They will be honored. Happens to be their 40th anniversary of that championship season. Also, Tristan Cowie, one of the early national champions on the cycling side of things, on the mountain bike side, he will be inducted as well. Those Hall of Fame inductions occur on Saturday morning, part of the Distinguished Alumni Award ceremony. We'll be broadcasting that event on the YouTube channel, so check that out on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. We mentioned men's soccer in action on Wednesday. Tuesday, tomorrow, you can get 2 for the price of 1, where if you come on out, you can check out volleyball at the Bosch, and then women's soccer on Tuesday will be also in action, both games starting at 6 p.m. Women's soccer continuing conference play versus Greensboro. Men's soccer on Wednesday versus Johnson and Wales. Thursday, we'll call that a day of rest relatively for the Tornadoes. But then Friday, back in action right here on campus, part of this homecoming celebration as the Tornadoes host Southern Virginia. That's an 8 p.m. start now, so come on out. Enjoy the action under the lights when the women's soccer team takes on Southern Virginia. And then Saturday, we mentioned the Hall of Fame inductions kicking off the day at 10 a.m. 11 a.m., Cody Siniard will be in concert, a country music performer, a graduate of Brevard College, 2010 alum. He'll be playing a concert in the tailgate lot before the football game, which starts at 2 o'clock versus Methodist, the big homecoming game. There's all sorts of activities, especially for alumni. If you haven't registered already and checked out all the events, go to brevard.edu and you can find all the homecoming events this week, a celebration of all things Brevard College. And, we can't wait to celebrate with you this week with all the homecoming events. So with that, we're going to bring in our Director of Athletics, Myranda Nash. Hey, great to have you. This is the fall 2022 debut for you, Myranda. Thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, we wanted to have you earlier on the season, but things have just been going 100 miles a minute, around here at Brevard College. And, we were able to get you on this evening. But now that we've reached the month of October, we've reached homecoming week, catch us up a little bit, as far as, what the Tornadoes have been up to from a kind of a big picture standpoint, what we've been up to as a staff and where we're at right now.
Man, it's hard to believe it's October. I was just talking about that the other day. This year's flown by. We finally feel like we're in kind of a more new normal. And I'm excited for our teams. We're finally in a groove of things. We're in conference play in all of our sports. And as witnessed here tonight, we've got some incredible student athletes and coaches. And so I'm excited for them. We don't have the certificate of occupancy yet, but we're very close to having that on our press box on Ives Lamel Family Field. And what a great addition to that space, much needed. And just looking forward, to continuing that. Added some visitors bleachers over there for the visitors. But yeah, we have just come a long way through some really hard times, and looking forward to seeing what our students can do, especially in postseason this year.
Well, before we get to what's happening this week, and there's a lot happening this week, would like to reflect back to last week because, Hurricane Ian, there was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of teams pivoting to different, days of the week, trying to get their games in, all sorts of behind the scenes phone calls being made and, meetings of the minds to try to work all this out. And where we landed was we're going to play a football game on Friday night. First time ever on campus, for a home football game. And it worked out well for the Tornadoes, obviously getting that win, but also the fans and the student body. I mean, everyone just had a great time. And as Coach Khyat said, the team themselves, they were just electrified, no pun intended, to play under the lights.
Yeah, it's funny. I got asked a lot, do you think you made the right decision? And the reality is hindsight's 2020. If we could have predicted what a hurricane would have done, we probably would have kept it on Saturday. To move a college football game takes an incredible amount of people. And at the time we made the decision, the thing was ending up in Pisgah National Forest. So, had I done last week over again, would have done the same thing. We've got incredible people that we work with here on campus, our staff, and in the community, working with EMS and our Brevard Police Department for security. And I was happy to hear the team was so excited to play under the lights because that really helps, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, it was great. I think that we had a beautiful sunset to look at and, a win. So that was really great.
A sunset, a double rainbow, a tornado win. What an evening on Friday night. And as we talked about, the team was really excited to play under the lights. Well, now it's homecoming week. It's also Brevard College presidential inauguration week with Bradley J. Andrews being inaugurated. This is about as busy of a week as it comes, on any given college campus. And we have a lot planned on the athletic side, games involving volleyball, women's soccer, men's soccer, and then ultimately the big football game on Saturday, a pregame tailgate concert with Cody Sinyard, an alum of Brevard College. We have an alum coming to sing the national anthem, Lily Bartleson. There's just all sorts of, festivities planned. When you look ahead to homecoming, Myranda, what comes to mind?
There's not many years I can think of where we've had this much at home. And I love it because every team that plays at home is represented some way. And that makes homecoming special, I think. So I'm excited for this week. It is so busy. But at the same time, those alum that are hopefully going to come back and see Brevard and see how it's changed since their time here. I love to hear their stories. At our Hall of Fame induction, that's my favorite thing is when they get together and they say, about their stories when they went here at, the games that we're at. I love to hear them talk about the residence halls that they lived in and, how they wish such and such was here when they were here. I feel the same way when I visit Western Carolina, when I go back. And so it's nice to kind of have alum come into the gym. Throughout the week, we'll have folks walking in and they'll talk about their memories. And it's just special to be able to kind of connect with people who share a passion for this place. Obviously, we all feel the same way. I didn't go here. I wasn't a student here. And so I love to hear their stories and their experiences of what they what they felt like when they went here. So it's a special week. Excited to be so busy with the presidential inauguration. I can't remember President Joyce's inauguration. If I'm being, I don't know if I blocked it out. It's a to-do. It is a big to-do. So I'm happy for President Andrews and his family. And I know they're working really hard to put on an incredible host of events for him this week.
And you mentioned the Hall of Fame, Myranda. Tristan Cowie, a legendary cyclist from our illustrious cycling program on the mountain bike side of things, especially, third straight year we're honoring the cycling team in some shape or form with a Hall of Fame honor. And then also the 1982 National Championship men's cross country team celebrating their 40th anniversary. That was really the team that kicked off all these national championships on the cross country side. Cycling and cross country, incredible legacies here at Brevard College. And it'll be a fantastic event this weekend. Myranda, thoughts on this year's induction class?
I got to see Tristan race when I came to Brevard in 2010. I got to be here when he was here. And so I remember what an incredible mark he made on our program, and him and his coach, Thad Walker. That was a special group. His team, he was inducted in last year's team Hall of Fame induction. And so I'm happy that we get to recognize him as an individual this year. He certainly deserves that. And then for our cross country team, we have so many runners in our Hall of Fame that it's only fitting that a team be inducted finally and on a special year for them as well.
Yeah, the 1982 team under the guidance of Brevard College Hall of Famer Norm Whittick. I'm actually in the Whittick conference room named after Coach Whittick. And then you mentioned Coach Thad Walker, class of 2020 in the Hall of Fame. And the BC cycling team was inducted last year, Tristan Cowie this year. Now, some new corporate partnerships for the Tornadoes as well. We had a exciting signing of a contract last Friday with Party Sports Medicine and Southeastern Sports Medicine in Orthopedics, now the official healthcare provider of Brevard College Athletics. This partnership is offering a bunch, not only, as far as the marketing and branding side of things, but for the Brevard College student athletes as well. Tell us more, Myranda.
Yeah, Party has made an intentional effort in joining our Brevard community. And I've been really inspired with how they've integrated themselves in our community. And we were looking for a partner who could help us take care of our students holistically by opening up a clinic, but then also provide the support that our student athletes would need in case of injury when it happens. And so we had a dinner the other night with 14 of us there, a lot of doctors, a lot of people way smarter than me in the room, and their passion for just engaging this community and taking care of our student athletes and our students. I feel very comfortable and very good moving forward with them. Dwayne Durham and Steve Heatherly have been incredible throughout the negotiation process of what this would look like. They're going to open up a clinic on campus that will be available with expanded hours for our students to be able to be seen. And then our team doctor, Dr. Lamel, will also be here with them this year. And just transitioning care, I think, is our main importance. I think that nationally we've seen a trend of the lack of athletic trainers in the pool for hire. And so that's a big concern for us as well. And Party has partnered with us to help us cover some events when we need it and give our athletic trainers a break every now and then, which is much needed because they're rock stars.
Well, we have all sorts of tremendous sponsors here at Brevard College, but I want to touch on one more, which is one of our newest partners, Chick-fil-A, and specifically the Chick-fil-A location at the Asheville airport, helping to make this possible. Folks, if you're not on board with what's going on here at the Brevard College football games, you may want to check this out. The only place in Transylvania County where you can find a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on a Saturday will be this Saturday with the Brevard College Methodist game, the homecoming game. Chick-fil-A now is going to be, offering sandwiches that we'll then sell here at the concession stand at the football games. Exciting stuff. But the second we announced this and the second that the Chick-fil-A sandwiches arrived at last Friday's game, I mean, they were flying off the shelves. The place was buzzing with, a whole other electricity. And here we go, Chick-fil-A and Brevard College. Myranda, tell us what's going on here with this Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
Yeah, it's been no surprise our students love Chick-fil-A. We kind of joke about it now. How do we get students at events? Just provide Chick-fil-A for them and they will come out in hordes. Juan Mascaro actually got Brian, the owner, on campus with John Kress, and they deliver the sandwiches to us in these nice big bags with warmers. And so if you want an original chicken sandwich or a spicy chicken sandwich, you just come to Brevard College football games. We'll have them for you.
Yeah, that's right. And that begins this Saturday. We had them on Friday night, but the Saturday, the next opportunity for you to have a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. And, the note I keep on going back to, there isn't a Chick-fil-A in Transylvania County, so this would be the place to get one. Come on out to the football game on Saturday. Well, a big appointment here at Brevard College as well. A new faculty athletics representative, Dr. Joshua Wilkie, who has been a big part of, a lot of the academic success here at Brevard College. He replaces the late Dr. Steve Knott, who, just had such a huge impact, and, we miss him dearly, of course. We'll have some things planned for Dr. Knott down the road here as far as a celebration of life. But Dr. Joshua Wilkie, the new faculty athletics representative. Myranda, tell us about Dr. Wilkie, what he'll bring to the table as far as, the student athlete experience, and also this whole role of faculty athletics representative, liaison between the academics and athletics.
Dr. Knott was left a huge mark on the athletics program here in his role as FAR, and went above and beyond. And the FAR, the faculty athletic rep, is an appointment by the president. It's an NCAA appointment. And it differs on every person's campus. I think that, wherever you go, you'll find a different meaning to what this person does. And Dr. Knott was so supportive of our student athletes. He was at every game. I mean, it was just, he was at more things than I was, I feel like. And so he was just so supportive. His involvement with the health and human performance master's program was critical in his exercise science background and his Olympic weightlifting background as well. And so when Dr. Andrews was selecting a new FAR, it had to be a real heavy hitter, because Dr. Knott left some big shoes to fill in terms of expectations of an engaged FAR on our campus. And I think the selection of Dr. Josh Wilkie was the perfect selection. I think that if you talk to our students, they know who he is. He has likely helped them through a situation already. And so the passion and the care that he gives for the student experience is unmatched on our campus. And so I know that his role is going to be just critical for the liaison between athletics and academics. He, a lot of the times, is already doing a lot of that role anyway. But the care that he gives and the attention and the empathy that he can provide for students is really inspiring.
Yeah, but Dr. Joshua Wilkie, the new faculty athletics representative here at Brevard College, he's also the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, holds a faculty appointment in the college's Business and Organizational Leadership program. We're really excited to have him part of our Tornado team here for our student athletes. And you mentioned Dr. Knott, missed dearly here on the campus of Brevard College, but do want to reflect back on some of the success most recently Dr. Knott, under his guidance, the Brevard College student athletes had on the academic side. Last spring, check out some of these numbers: 167 student athletes on the USA South Academic All-Conference team. That was a school record. 17 cycling student athletes were named USA Cycling Collegiate Academic All-Stars. 64 student athletes graduated in last year's class, including 42 with a 3.0 or higher, 11 cum laude student athletes, 8 magna cum laude, and 3 the highest distinction of summa cum laude. So just a tremendous accomplishment there, and it raises the bar, as far as continued success on the academic side. Myranda, before we wrap up, I know we've talked about it before, but just how Division III Brevard College, it's not just about the wins and losses on the field. Of course, it's about getting it done in the classroom and preparing for life after graduation.
Yeah, I was at convocation, and they announced this incoming class had the highest incoming GPA of any class that has attended Brevard College. And that speaks volume for our coaches recruiting. We're 70% student athlete now as an institution. And there is a large emphasis on performing in and outside of the classroom. We fully believe that seeing our students walk across the stage is the ultimate goal, and their opportunity to play a sport while they attend Brevard, that is what makes Brevard special for them. That's what appeals to their passions, is the opportunity to continue something that they've loved their entire life. But that degree, that short walk across the stage, that is really what makes them successful in life. And the transferable skills that they get from being a student athlete paired with a degree is what makes them successful.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we'll see a lot of those successful examples this week for homecoming when the alumni come back here to Brevard College. And it's just exciting to be here on the campus during homecoming week. We hope you can come on out to, Brevard College. If you haven't been here in a while, you really need to see the place just to see all the changes and the facility growth and so forth. But hope you can come on back and come say hello to us in the athletic department, but also, reunite with old friends as well. Myranda, before I let you go, final thoughts on homecoming week, Brevard College athletics and beyond.
Yeah, if you're teetering on should you come back, it looks like it's going to be a gorgeous weekend. Bring your hoodie. It looks like it might be a little chilly, but we're just so excited to be able to be together. And I think that we've got a lot to celebrate as an institution, as a campus, and I would love to meet any alum coming back. I think that our philanthropic development office has done a great job at reaching out to alum. There's so many alumni games happening, so check on your teams. If you aren't sure if there's an alumni game, they might have one, and loosen up those hammies and get out and get back in.
Yeah, I'm aware of men's lacrosse, basketball. We've also got a women's lacrosse breakfast going on. There's a baseball golf tournament happening. I mean, you name it, it's happening here at homecoming. And I hope you can make it out and check out our current student athletes as well, who will be playing in games all week long, culminating with the Saturday football game. Myranda, thanks for joining the program. Great to have you on Tornado Talk this evening.
Thanks so much, Phil.
All right. And there she goes. And that wraps up another edition of Tornado Talk. I want to thank all of our guests for joining the program, all of our sponsors as well. And thank you, NATO Nation, for your continued support of Brevard College Tornado Athletics. I also want to thank Joseph Marvin, our producer, and Lindsay Wyke behind the scenes as well. We'll see you next week for another edition of Tornado Talk. Go Tornadoes.